There's nothing like that new season smell. Or maybe that's me. Welcome to the SFL's 6th season of the minor leagues alongside Alden Bleeker. I'm Cameron Irvine, and we are ready for SFLm action. 23 undrafted rookies in today's game tonight, and a handful of two-ways we're excited to see in the spotlight. Alden, welcome to Kentucky. It's a beautiful night for football.
Well, it's like you say, it might be the grass fumes getting to me, but it is an exciting night of SFLm football on tap. And, you know, in addition to those 23 undrafted rookies, like you said, a lot of two-way players in this game that have playoff games coming up this weekend.
Looking forward to getting into all of what's going on around the SFLm as the day progresses. Annapolis in the white tops and gold bottoms with the green and black trim. They win the toss. They will defer to the second half, and Lexington will get the ball to start the football game tonight. The Miners in gray with the dark blue pants, the light blue and orange trim, and are set to go. Annapolis's Scotty Ormond. Kick it. We're underway. Return up to the 29-yard line for Lexington. That number 10, Morgan Hill, on the return. And out comes Chad Moore, returning from last season. Chad Moore played in 6 games for the Miners. Not too shabby either, 1,078 yards. Called a couple of his games last season. He was pretty sharp. Now out of the shotgun, Lexington will start with a pass. And Moore will start on his back. Sacked for a loss of 9 yards. And flying in to make the play was defensive tackle Tristan Otello. And that's a loss of 9.
Yeah, and, you know, there can be some expectations put on you when you're that returning player. You know, one of the only returning players for Lexington.
So the Miners are going to start pushed back in their own territory. This pass will be flipped out for a 6-yard pickup. And the first catch of his young season, Joseph Budette. Please let me know if I said that name correctly. Joseph Budette, 6'3", 180 with that catch.
Yeah, and a pretty good pickup there, but it's still third and a country mile to go here.
Third and 13. Moore over the top. That's caught for 8 yards, so it flips the field just a bit. Xavier Solomon with the catch, 6'4", 245. But it will be short of the first down, and Lexington will have to punt it away.
Yeah, and you have to give a lot of credit to Annapolis's defense there, because not only the bend don't break to prevent the yardage, but that huge sack to start the drive, putting pressure on an experienced but still young quarterback, really proved to be an effective gamble for Annapolis.
Punt from Rand Fullman for Lexington is away, and back at the 29-yard line, Annapolis will get it up to the 32. That kick returned by Curtis Walker, and now Gene Struthers takes the field. Struthers last season, bit of a struggle, had Randy Squarebush to rely on, but did still throw for 1,726 yards. Struthers, you would imagine, is gearing up for SFL career as that goes for no gain. Struthers playing in his 4th season of SFLm competition in Alden, and you and I both know that is a long wait to try and get in the pros. But Struthers, I mean, he's been patient. His time's coming.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, you talk about the success last season with Randy Squarebush. I mean, we talk a lot about high tides lifting many boats. I think he's really learned a lot about how to pass under pressure.
Flip out, picks up 5, and that is the new running back, Chris Grant Jr., with his first touch, and Noah Regier, the two-way player out of Fort Worth, with the tackle.
Well, and being used in a similar way there as Randy Squarebush. Of course, Randy Squarebush, a dominant runner, but also being used very effectively in these design screenplays that are becoming more and more common.
3rd and 5, 2 in the backfield. They all split out wide. Goes over the middle. That pass is hauled in and completed. That's tight end Joe Harleman, who's had an excellent season in Jacksonville behind Caesar Ackerman and looking maybe for a bigger role in the SFL next season. Gets a first down to the 49.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, one of my teammates in Jacksonville, and you know, been such a big part of this offense, and he can do a lot at this level, even still.
I'll go with a run on 1st and 10, and off that left side, plenty of room there for Chris Grant Jr. On the stop is Todd Rigsby, the 6'2", 196 free safety.
Well, and we're starting to get a little bit of an idea of how Chris Grant Jr. runs. You know, Randy Squarebush was just a classic power runner, running people over. Chris Grant Jr. so far seeming like he more prefers to run with the block.
Grant staying patient, picks up a few on the play. Also getting involved on that tackle, Jukin Rukin Jr., the two-way out of Sioux Falls. Let's meet the rest of this Lexington Minor offense, or check that, Annapolis offense. You've got Struthers, Chris Grant Jr., the two-way out of D.C., Ronnie Shanahan, and then rookie Goldie Morrison, number 17 at wide receiver, 6'2", 192 at the bottom of your screen right now. Grant Jr. is the lone man in the backfield on 3rd and 2. Going to be a pass from Struthers, and the vet nearly throws an interception. That was Rigsby stepping up in front of it. Good opening drive for Todd, and Lexington's defense forces an early punt.
Yeah, and you know, you hate to criticize the play call there, but I really feel like Chris Grant Jr. was picking up a lot of momentum there, you know, really using his agility. That seems to be the way that he prefers to run, and he was able to get them within striking distance, almost within field goal distance.
Snap is away. Couldn't agree more, Alden. That it felt like Grant had something going there.
Ooh.
And there's something going there
on
that punt. What a punt for Ellis. That is Pete Ellis with the punt and gets it all the way down to the Minor 1-yard line. So after back-to-back punts, it's going to be Annapolis who wins the field position battle and pins the Miners in their own territory.
Yeah, and what fantastic discipline by the Annapolis hands team. They watched that roll all the way to the 1, and then they just picked it up. That is perfectly executed special teams play.
Pros could learn a little something there. Chad Moore with some pressure off his left side, fires at a decent pocket there, but could not get Budette on the reception. So it's still 2nd and 10 from the 1. The rest of the Lexington Minor offense, the running back Sean Sanders, 5'7", 190. He's shifty. Can't wait to see what they do with him tonight. Dill Swayze is your starting wideout, number 11, 6'2", 205. And you've met Budette and Solomon also on that Lexington offense. 2nd and 10 for the 1. They will hand it off. And breaking out of a couple tackles, still going, Sanders! Sean Sanders to the 27-yard line. Small and mighty, Sean gets a first down on his first carry.
Well, I mean, you called him shifty. I mean, that is absolutely what we see here. I mean, slips through this tackle, slips through this tackle, picks up a great block there. But my goodness, just the speed and the agility to slither through the defense like a snake hunting its prey. That is a dangerous, dangerous burst of speed there.
A 26-yard pickup for Sanders, the rookie. He'll get another touch here, spins back inside, picks up 6 yards to the 33-yard line. Tackled by Jupiter Juno, an inside linebacker, 6'4", 251.
Well, I mean, who needs to be a super freaking nature athlete when you're this fast and this agile? I mean, he's doing a great job carving up this Annapolis defense here so far.
2 in the backfield now for Moore. Solid drive here. 32 yards so far for Lexington. They hand it off to a tired Sanders. Not able to pick up much. Chat shout-outs if you remember Park Hee-Chol, really the last SFL running back that was the size of Sanders. And Alden, it was before your time, but I don't understand. I'm surprised, quite frankly, that we haven't seen more of these smaller backs in the SFL. 3rd and 4. We'll get to that more after this play. They run it to Sanders, and he did just get the first down to the 37. Got a bit lucky there as Gino McFly quickly came in on the stop, the very active outside linebacker, 5'11", 230 for the Navigators.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and you know, the reason that I think running backs are increasing in size is because running backs are becoming such a big part of the passing offense in the SFL. You got to be big and strong to hang in there with the cornerbacks.
1st and 10 of the 37. Moore, great presence in the pockets. Got a first down. The Annapolis 45, 18-yard pickup. That's Solomon's second catch of the night. And the Miners are in Navigator territory.
And it's a great job just running this slant route at the very top of the play. Just goes out towards the sideline, and there is nobody around him. A great job forcing Annapolis to react rather than attack on defense.
Shout-outs to Paulie the Truth, J-Rock, Marco Swift, DB, Hustle 85, Traymon Morrison, Cameron Curtis also in there, and many others. Joshua Hartshorn as well. This is another run to Sanders, a 6-yard gain. Sean Sanders bursting onto the scenes here in the first quarter.
Yeah, I mean, we were just talking about how Randy Squarebush was, you know, such a menace, just able to run over people seemingly at will. But so far here, we've seen Sean Sanders really just able to slip past defenders at will. He's a menace in a different kind of way.
2 in the backfield. Sanders gets another carry. Stretch play now to the right. Nice block pickup down the field. Gets a first down for the Miners. And one person who may be pretty happy with what he's seeing tonight is offensive coordinator for Lexington and former Lexington running back Christian Pierce. Loves seeing the running backs doing his thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's really, I think, one of the things that's so special about the SFLm is, you know, you go through your reps, you get picked up by a team, and then you have the opportunity to sort of leave your mark on the next generation of SFL players. I really do think that there's so much that you can learn as an SFL player in the SFLm.
4 wide here for Moore. And slants, although route to the top of the screen for Swayze is actually dropped. First target for Swayze tonight will bring up 2nd down and 10, and you got to find some balance. So Holden, you can't just keep giving it to Sanders on every play tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do think this was the correct pass. I mean, does a great job running this corner out, just hit him in the hands and unable to secure it. But you know, to your point, you know, Sean Sanders, obviously such an offensive weapon here so far, and you know, you give the defense too many looks at him, eventually they'll figure out a way to adjust.
It's part of a player's progression in the SFLm. We see it all the time. Hands in week 1 aren't as good as they are in week 8, as Sanders navigates himself through the heavy traffic of black, gold, and green. Picks up 3, 3rd and 7, just on the fringe of field goal range at the Navigator 30.
Yeah, and this is really the thing that I think you do against these, you know, super elusive runners, is just jam up the middle, force these blocks to be occupied in the middle rather than finding, you know, that tiny sliver of daylight for them to wiggle through.
Moore on 3rd and 7, wide open, and everybody left him. Touchdown, Lexington. That was a crazy play, caught by Morgan Hill in the slot, and all of a sudden there was nobody left to make the tackle.
I mean, my goodness, it feels like we're watching soccer. I mean, he just, as he catches this pass, he's just going to drop his shoulder and just leave his defenders behind. I mean, it was really like watching a soccer forward just leaving the last defender behind. My goodness.
Harry Houdini in the open field. And the Miners are the first ones on the board. That was a tremendous play by Hill. Perfect throw from Moore to lead Hill into the middle of the field. And with the extra point pending, Lexington now has a 7-0 lead. That, Alden, was a 99-yard drive that all started with Sean Sanders and his terrific run.
Yeah, I think that really makes it all the more remarkable that they, not only did Sean Sanders have such a fantastic drive, but they were pinned. They were snapping that ball from inside their own end zone. I mean, what a spectacular drive by Lexington.
Annapolis will get their chance to respond. Really short kick. The wind blowing in the, again, in the face of Lexington at the moment. So now at the back for Annapolis. Lexington does have a star kicker, Victor Washington, 6 foot 200, and dealing with some tough wind in that direction, it would appear. Gene Struthers back out there for Annapolis. But let's meet this Lexington defense. On the line, defensive end Robert Brady, one to watch for. DJ Kilgannon at inside linebacker, number 58. Noah Regier is your outside linebacker, two-way contracted player, as Struthers will dump that off short to Chris Grant, makes a man miss and picks up 4. Your corners, Nathan Nur and Andre Tucker, 28 and 24. Free safeties, Todd Rigsby in the slot, Guy Incognito. And your strong safeties, Jukenruken Jr., that two-way from Sioux Falls, and Toby Nur. Let me know if I'm pronouncing Nur correctly as well at strong safety. I'm assuming brothers, but you can let us know in the chat. Struthers, deep drop back on 2nd and 6. Fires it and a little bit too strong. My goodness. Goldie Morrison was the intended target, and that thing came flying at Goldie. Maybe a little too hot. 3rd and 6.
Yeah, must have been goofing around with Flubber during the warm-ups or something, because it just bounced out of his hand there.
3rd and 6 at the 37-yard line. Shotgun for Struthers. Struthers looks short. Should be enough for the first down. Yeah, right. Ronnie Shanahan almost went back into 4th down territory, but did just have enough forward progress to move the chains.
Well, and so far, Gene Struthers has been passing, the things that we know that he can do. We know that he's very effective in these designed out routes, and we know that route running receivers pair very well with him as well.
1st and 10 of the 43. Struthers fires it outside to Grant Jr., and Grant Jr.'s got a first down. The Lexington 45-yard line. That's a pickup of 12. Combo stop there from Kilgannon and company, but another solid gain for the Navigator offense.
And, just take this footage and put it in a PowerPoint presentation titled The Rise of the Design Screen Pass in the SFL, because when you have these, these elite running backs, whether they're powerful or elusive or fast, you pass to them and you create a situation where they can run essentially on a passing play.
Struthers dumps it off on a check down this time. That's actually a loss of 1. Regier on the stop. That went out to fullback Jonah Jason. Will bring up 2nd down and 11. If you're new to the SFL, the Simulation Football League combines traditional sports, esports, and a role-playing game into one. Team strategies are being executed in real time by our simulations as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. For more information about the SFL, visit our website at simulationfl.net. The SFL, we put the fan in fantasy. Struthers goes down with 2 seconds left. Nearly a sack there for the Minor defensive line. Mark Rams at defensive tackle makes the play.
Yeah, so much pressure. And, like we say, it can take so long to develop that sense of self in the pocket, and even the best lose it from time to time.
Annapolis converted a 3rd and 6, 3 plays ago. Now have a 3rd and 11. They need the 35.5-yard line with 5 on the play clock. Struthers out of the shotgun, split backs, back to pass. And Struthers with a pocket breaking down, fires it down the middle of the field. It's knocked around and incomplete. Pass intended for Harleman down the field, but it was extremely well defended. Nobody there for Annapolis' offense, and that puts an end to the first quarter. Entertaining quarter, 99-yard touchdown drive for Lexington has the Miners up 7-0 over Annapolis. You're watching the SFLm presented by APM Music on YouTube. We'll be right back. Along with Alden Bleeker, I'm Cameron Irvine tonight, and Annapolis punts it away from the Lexington 46. Maybe pin the Miners once again down to the 1-yard line. Remember, the wind at Annapolis is in Annapolis's face going this direction. See what they can get done. Not that far, only a fair catch to the 12.
Yeah, and they'll be happy to have them inside the 20-yard line, but well, as we saw last time, that's certainly not a drive killer for Lexington to start that far back in their own zone.
Chad Moore back in action. Victor Washington, shout out to you in the chat. The Lexington Kickers got a point on the board. One of 2 players to score today. Sean Sanders now 57 yards on 8 carries. Howard Flemings with a leg cramp, and coincidentally, 2 separate cramps in the Madison-Albuquerque game, Alden, earlier in this one. Some lack of conditioning out there so far here in week 1.
Yeah, we were just commenting on that off microphone, and yeah, like you say, that can be so tough as a team this young to deal with those injuries.
Deep drop for Moore. Oh, great block by the offensive line. It just totally abused the defensive pass rush. And then a drop at the end of the play, disappointing for Lexington, will set up a 3rd and 5.
That always makes me happy to see as an offensive line player myself. You saw there just all the time in the world, had all the time to just sit there in the pocket, not quite able to connect with his receiver, but you see the idea that he was going for there.
3rd and 5 at the 16 for Moore. And Moore floats it up and is intercepted past the 30 to the 26-yard line. Pass picked off by Adam Nold. His first SFLm interception comes at a great time for Annapolis.
Well, and we were mentioning about, how tall and strong these cornerbacks are becoming. Just an instance there, again, that we're seeing, 6 foot, 200 pounds. He's able to get off the ground and just use his height to reach up and grab it. And this is easily the best starting field position for either team this game.
1st and 10 at the Lexington 26-yard line. Struthers changing the play, and Lexington shifting their defense all over the place. Hot routes up the middle, nothing open, so instead a check down. Great open field tackle on the fullback. Was that Ragier again? No, that was
57.
57. Wow, pretty nice tackle there from Bill Crenshaw. Brings up 2nd and 6.
Yeah, and that was a great example of pressure coming and it opening up things in the middle of the field there.
Not much there for Chris Grant Jr. Let's meet, well, actually, we can't meet the rest of the Annapolis defense. It just got off the field. 3rd and 7. We'll meet them on the next possession.
It's a good problem to have if you're Annapolis.
Yeah, when you're not getting introduced till middle of the 2nd quarter, you're doing something right. They made Lexington work for those 99 yards, but ultimately gave up the touchdown. Struthers on 3rd down and 7. Clean pocket, wide open over the middle. Same exact place where Lexington scored their touchdown. That is a touchdown for Annapolis, and a wacky-looking dance from Sheldon Hilton, and we're 1 point away from a tie game.
Yeah, and it's a great job of passing it to the tight end. And, the tight end, historically, as a receiver, you you have them in the middle of the field to be tough and hold on to it. That's exactly what we see with that touchdown, holding on to it, staying up, keeping his legs moving, and good things happening for Annapolis, converting that fantastic starting field position into points.
Hilton looking like Elaine from Seinfeld.
That's just what I was thinking. The Elaine dance.
Yeah, that was rough. Yeah, may not get signed to a contract just because of that. Tie game at 7. Extra point is good from Scotty Ormond, and we're all square, 7-7. Great first half here in Lexington. Kick is away. Wind in the face of Ormond. This is from the 15-yard line and returned up to the 29. Okay, now we get to meet the rest of the Annapolis Navigator defense. Defensive end L.L. Volt on the line, 6'3", 259 is number 69. The linebackers, Jupiter Juno, Gino McFly. We've seen both of them make plays. Interesting, the difference in size. Juno's 6'4", 251. McFly, a little shiftier, 5'11", 230. Corners, Adam Nold with the interception earlier, and J.W. Hartshorn, 6'1", 205, 6', 200. Those sizes there, as that is a 3-yard run from Sanders. The safeties, Will Stern, Ibari, Amin Eglin, 6'3", 222, rookie, free safety, number 28, and John Patrick Levine, number 29. All I know, Alden, is the equipment managers spend a lot of time on those names on the back of the jerseys for these safeties.
Yeah, a mouthful for sure, and I think really going to be looking to use their size to bully Sean Sanders this drive.
Not a lot out there in the flat. Maybe picked up a yard. Did Sanders. It'll set up a 3rd and 6 at the 33. 8:20 to go in the first half.
And that's really the thing too, is, you know, Sean Sanders is small and he's fast, but it's like trying to outrun a bear. You might outrun that bear for a while, but if it gets to you once, that's all it needs.
Straight back for more. Fires into traffic. It's caught off the back of the defender. First down to the 40. Hauled in by Budette. Another terrific catch. Can we get a replay of that? No, we are not going to. That was tremendous concentration in traffic.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's not the first catch in traffic we've seen by Lexington. Really doing a good job, even in the face of double coverage here.
Chad Moore flips it outside and quickly hit Sean Sanders. This is a better welcome to the minor league from Annapolis's defense than the previous drive. That's Hartshorn in coverage.
Yeah, J.W. Hartshorn realizing that, you know, that was going to be a designed outlet pass and just pushes all the way up into the back line there.
Moore wide open and turning the corner for now a first down for Solomon. 3rd catch for Solomon. Pretty good quarterback numbers tonight as well. We'll see if we get a challenge about when Xavier stepped out of bounds. Take a look.
Oh, that's very close to the dial it down. I mean, that is
stayed in.
The replay got cut off there before we could see. I think that's close enough that it's worth a challenge for sure.
Annapolis must have seen, or lack of seen, enough to keep the challenge flag in the pocket. That's Jay Hayden coaching his first game here in the SFLm as head coach. He's been around in Arizona and all over the SFLm. Here's Sanders again, breaking a tackle to the 22-yard line. Sean Sanders, a breakout first half, gets another first down for Lexington.
Man, and Sean Sanders, one of those guys that you eventually run out of metaphors, but I mean, it's really watching him just outrun and break all these tackles. It's like that scene in a bad sci-fi movie where the alien is loose and it's just like juking all the, you know, all the the federal agents. I mean, that's really what it looks like out there, just using his speed advantage and his agility advantage.
We got to talk about good and bad sci-fi if this game gets rough in the fourth quarter, as Sanders picks up 4, the Annapolis 17. So here we go, another long drive for the Miners. They are killing time and racking up yards in the first half.
Yeah, and that's really the thing. Lexington have really had to work for the points they have and the yards that they have, but they've been able to just sort of chug away.
3 wide for Moore. 2nd and 6 to the 17. Another handoff to Sanders. He'll pick up 4. 3rd and 2, maybe 3.5. At the 14, McFly on the stop.
And it's Annapolis starting now to close things down a little bit. It's good. It's within field goal range for sure, but they have an opportunity to stop what looks like a pass play here.
They're going to hand it off one more time. Falling forward and short is Sanders. McFly with another tackle. McFly's been all over the field in this first half, and Lexington has a decision to make. Victor Washington may get his first field goal here tonight. We may have to wait a play.
Yeah, absolutely. And oh man, you know, like you saw, and it looks like they're going for it.
See if Lexington snaps it here.
Yeah, they might be working the hard count.
It does look like they're going hard count. Chad Moore not getting anyone to budge. Been a pretty clean game here this evening, and Lexington will have to burn a timeout, so we'll get to see Victor Washington with his first kick of his young career. First field goal, that is.
And we've been keeping track of that wind. I've lost track of if it's going to be behind, if it's going to be a tailwind, or if it's going to be in Lexington's face here.
It's in his face.
So it's he's going to have to push against that. That's the what looks like a so yes. So it is going to be, he's going to have distance here. He's just got to get it straight up here.
30 yards for Washington, and solid form. He nails it. That kick is up and good. 10-7 Lexington, and now he'll be kicking with it in his face as Washington boots it through, and the Miners retake the lead.
Yeah, and just a great job by Annapolis to stay with that drive. You know, that 3rd and 2, such a huge opportunity for Lexington to convert and get back on top of things. But a great job by Annapolis. You know, bend don't break is sometimes the correct call to make.
Kick is away to the 10. And returned up and legs swiped at the 28-yard line. The SFL Network is coming to the ESTV Plus app. 24/7 SFL programming will include content created by the community, the SFL's greatest games from the archives, exclusive network content, and live SFL regular season games. Download the ESTV Plus app on your Android or iPhone, or on your TV through Roku, Amazon Fire, Vizio, and more. The SFL Network, where SFL creators come together. Struthers drops back, wide open, but just led his receiver just a bit too much. Shanahan nearly got his clock cleaned, and that was a dangerous ball. Gene's got to keep that from floating away on him.
Yeah, and that was, I believe, Todd Rigsby just doing a great job reading that pass there. You know, like you say, very dangerous position.
Good hit out there by Nathan Nur. 2nd and 10 at the 28. They'll hand off on a counter, and Lexington was ready for it. Grant Jr. leveled in the backfield, and officially a 3-yard loss. That's Crenshaw with the stop. So quickly 3rd and long for the Navigators after another long Lexington drive.
Yeah, and man, this has really been a suffocating defense by Lexington all game long here.
3rd and 13, Struthers out of the gun, and he'll fire it down the middle. It's intercepted at the 42. stepping in front of the pass intended for Shanahan and slow to get up. That was Todd Rigsby making another terrific play in the secondary for Lexington.
Well, I was getting ready to say that, you know, the only points that Annapolis have put up were on that interception deep in Lexington territory, but now Lexington have almost as if to respond to that, you know, picking up an interception within Annapolis territory, and they're getting really good starting field position on this play.
Sanders, 92 yards on 14 carries in the first half. Lexington has dominated time of possession. This Navigator defense has to be getting tired. Moore with a pump fake, fires over the middle, caught to an open receiver near a first down. That hauled in by Budette again to bring up second and short.
Yeah, and just floats it up the middle there. Very, very good pitch and catch. You know, sometimes you don't need to overthink things. You don't need to overcomplicate. Just put the ball in your quarterback's hands and have him throw it to the receiver.
Moore deep. Oh, and a receiver just overthrew the intended target, and Moore will be kicking himself, hoping to get that back in another life.
Yeah, man, and it's such a great idea. I mean, you know, a receiver open, he burns the coverage, but just a little overthrown by a matter of a couple feet, it looked like.
Solomon was the intended target, running a seam route there at tight end. Two in the backfield. They hand off to Sanders. Sanders with a first down to the 30, and the drive will continue. It's playoff time. Think you can draft the best SFL fantasy football team while staying under the salary cap? Or maybe you just want to enhance your SFL experience. Free to play, no season-long commitment, and we'll be tracking the season winners in a separate special contest. Deadline is before the kickoff of the first game. That's tomorrow at 6:30. Fill out the form located in the league content channel on the SFL Discord to participate. Sanders picks up a couple. He has gotten a lot of touches here in the second quarter. Juneau on the stop brings up 2nd and 8.
Well, yeah, and we saw, you know, on that previous third down conversion, you know, we've talked a lot about Sean Sanders' speed and agility, but just doing a great job showing a little bit of power, just running it up the middle to get that yard and some change.
Moore going to change the play at the line. 2nd down and 8. And the handoff goes to Sanders again as a first down to the 20-yard line. And Sanders is over 100 here in the first half.
Yeah, man, and it's just a fantastic block up front there, by the way, but it's just a case of, you know, Lexington really having a player who is on, and Annapolis thus far not being able to adjust to it.
Navigators 7, Lexington 10. The newest superstar in the SFL may be Sean Sanders. What a debut here in the first half. You're watching the SFLm on YouTube. First down in the red zone. Very entertaining first half. Alden Bleeker, Cameron Irvine with you. 10-7. Miners lead the Navigators. McFly chases down Sanders from behind. 2-yard pick up the 18.
Yeah, and it's a very, very, very interesting situation here in terms of clock management for Lexington. You know, do you just try to ram the ball down their throat, or do you try to chew a little bit of time off the clock here? And I don't think there's necessarily a wrong answer. All depends on your strategy.
Great position to be in, but Chad Moore throws a pick. Now it's a foot race and a tackle made at the 35-yard line. Moore tried to get cute, threw back across his body, and the pass intercepted by Will Stern, two-way out of Vancouver, who's in action on Sunday in the wild card round.
Wow. Well, question asked, question answered, I guess. But like you say, he's forced into a situation where he has to throw across his body to make an attempt, and that's just a situation where you either want to throw it away or just hold it and run. I mean, oh man, that's so tough for Lexington.
2 picks for Moore in the first half. Now a toss to the outside to Grant Jr. picks up 1. Now Annapolis going to run some no huddle. We'll see what else they have out of this formation. 2 in the backfield, 2 receivers to short side right. Struthers going to fire it outside to Grant, and that picks up 5. Can't get out of bounds. 1 minute to go. All 3 timeouts. Annapolis wants to see what happens on this 3rd and 4. 4 down linemen for Lexington. That's all they rush. Struthers in some trouble. Throws into double coverage. The pass is incomplete. And a 3 and out just like that. Lexington gets the ball back up against this tired Annapolis defense.
Yeah, and that I formation, I think, is actually quite a good formation to be stuck in if you're going to run no huddle. But, man, just taking away the opportunities there, Lexington realizing that they don't have to get an interception. They don't have to get a sack. They just have to play 4 downs at a time and, you know, hope that with your opponent in such a rush that they make a mistake.
Lexington goes for the block. Can't quite get there. 46 seconds to go. Thought I saw a fair catch. Guess not. Return to the 26-yard line. That's where Lexington will get the football. I want you to think about this for the 3rd quarter, Alden. I saw somebody in the chat talking about McDonald's McMuffins. Let's go top 5 breakfast sandwiches for fast food. I need your 1 to 5 rankings in the chat. Going to ask Alden. Going to give you mine. Now, depending upon which area in the country you live in, could depend on your responses, but everywhere applies as long as it's a chain most people would know, I suppose, as Moore will step up in the pocket, and good awareness there to dump it off. What a move! Sanders, 40 to the 43-yard line. Oh, he's been ridiculous in this first half. Quickly now, 23 seconds. Moore fires outside, race to get out of bounds. Excellent job by Annapolis to keep the receiver in play. I believe that was Swayze. Now down to 10 seconds. Moore one-handed over the middle to Swayze, and Lexington will burn a timeout, call a Hail Mary. May have been able to get some more points out of that drive. Unclear. But still, Marco Swift has to like what he's seen out of his offense in his first game as head coach.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's the success of Sean Sanders and their overall ability to move as a unit, even though, you know, it's still a case of many of them still learning how to work with each other and learning how to play with each other, and just growing as players. I do think, like you say, there's plenty to be to be optimistic about if you're a Lexington fan, both in this game and for the rest of the season.
More Hail Mary time, not so fast. Sacked just as this game started, and just how this first half will finish, and that's Tristan Otello's 2nd sack of the night, and that ends the first half of play. Annapolis 7 and Lexington 10, a very entertaining first half. We're back for more second half action right now here on SFL YouTube. Alongside Alden Bleeker, I'm Cameron Irvine. 10-7. Lexington leads Annapolis as we begin the 3rd quarter of play. Navigators get the ball to start the half, and it's Shanahan returning it up to the 31-yard line on the short return. All right, Alden, they're rolling in the chat. Bridge City Bird, Tim Hortons, Cora. What's Cora? McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, Burger King.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's got to be Canadian.
Yeah, top 5 from Canada. That's good to see. Oh, Struthers out of nowhere gets nailed back at the 27-yard line. Andrew Lawson. Where'd he come from?
Yeah, man. Woo! Oh, the pocket just collapsed out of nowhere. And page out of the book of Alpha Male Monty Brown, he got pounced back into the pocket there. My goodness.
Rob Hunt.
Now, I don't know.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I don't know what the top 5 of all time is. I'd have to really sit down and think about that. But the number 1 to me is the Bojangles Cajun filet biscuit. It's good for breakfast. It's good for lunch. It's good for dinner. It's got utility. It's got like way more protein than you would think from like a fast food place. So I like use it every now and then coming home from the gym when I'm just like, F it. I just want something quick and easy. But it's got to be the Bojangles Cajun filet biscuit, number 1 for me.
Grant Jr., 5 catches for 33 yards. Picked up 6 on that last play. 3rd down and 4. And Struthers near a first down, but that's the end of the drive as that pass falls incomplete. Okay, so tell me more about this. Tell me more about this Bojangles biscuit. I have not heard of this. Cajun, got some Cajun spices in it, I'm guessing?
Yeah, so well, Bojangles, it's like a southern, like a southeast regional thing. It's like not your part of the South, I guess. It's just like a regular chicken biscuit. It's like a little bit. The Bojangles is like famous for their biscuits and tea. It's got this really fluffy biscuit, and then they've got like a pepper and like some like Cajun spices, a little bit of cayenne and stuff. It's good. Gotta pair it up with a Diet Pepsi and their mac and cheese. That's my recommendation. Wow. So if there's ever a SFL convention in North Carolina,
yeah,
you know what you got to do.
I've heard of Bojangles, but not had the breakfast. That sounds
Bojangles, and then if there's like a cookout across the street, you got to get a shake too. That's tradition.
Beautiful. 1st and 10 at the 26-yard line for Lexington. This defense, they've forced Annapolis into 3 straight 3-and-outs as that pass by Sanders is dropped for a loss of 2. Tackle made by Hartshorn, who's done really a good job in the secondary for Annapolis tonight. But this Lexington defense, we've been talking a lot about Sanders in this offense. The Lexington defense playing well too.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's been so hard for Annapolis because Lexington's defense has been so stifling.
That's a gain of 1. Sanders still averaging 5.6 yards per carry. Destro talking about Bojangles being in the South. Missed some top 5s here. Back at Rob Hunt has Chick-fil-A, number 1. McDonald's, number 2. Bojangles, talked about it.
Yeah.
The Cajun filet biscuit, number 3. BK, steak croissant, number 4. And then the Hardee's, Frisco from Hardee's, number 5. That's a pretty good list. From Washington State, that's Hartshorn. And by the way, Josh, it's Hartshorn or it's Hartshorn? Please let us know in the chat. Make sure that we get that right and listed on the sheet for the rest of the season. But he says from Washington State, Burgerville, Five Guys, Carl's Jr., McDonald's, and then Jack in the Box.
Five Guys does breakfast? I did not know that.
Looks like they do. Pseudo in the chat, Burger Chef, Geno's, Roy Rogers, Lums, and Red Barn. Getting real BFW up in here.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's even more Canadian than the other list.
A pass for Moore is incomplete. Brings up 2nd down and 10. Biff Markham says, Special K, Quaker Oats oatmeal, a little off topic. McDonald's hotcakes, local donuts, and 7-Eleven croissant. Not the exact assignment, Biff, but we'll give you a passing grade.
Those are pretty solid, 5 pretty solid breakfast items, though. To be fair,
that's right. We went a little bit outside of breakfast sandwiches.
People are just getting hungry for breakfast.
That's right. Moore got crushed there and near a first down. That pass is caught by Budette. 4 catches now on 7 targets. Will set up a 3rd and short, and the Minor offense moving again, but not before Hartshorn with another tackle in the open field in the secondary. He's been terrific.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's when you have such an explosive offense, it can be difficult to stop them or slow them down. But I mean, that's exactly what Annapolis's assignment has been. Don't try to force anything trying to stop them, but just slow them down and do your best.
DJ Kilgannon, and let me know if I'm pronouncing that correctly as well. Kilgannon with Carl's Jr. number 1. Another first down run for Sanders. They're in Annapolis territory. And I promise we'll get off of this this biscuit sandwich topic, but I have to give my top 5 as well.
Okay.
I got Whataburger, number 1. Nobody
You have Whataburger?
Nobody repping Whataburger yet.
No Texans in the chat.
I like classic sausage biscuit from McDonald's.
Sure.
Pretty good. Number 2, number 3, Chick-fil-A. 4 would be it's not coming to mind. Oh, Wendy's. Wendy's not bad breakfast either. Is that picks up 5 yards. So that's the top 4. The 5th one escapes me, but it's obviously irrelevant. But I got to get the Bojangles though.
Yeah, White Castle, I've heard from a friend of mine who lives out where they have White Castle. They have like a Belgian waffle slider on their breakfast menu where it's like an egg, bacon, and cheese on like 2 tiny Belgian waffles. I've always wanted to try that.
There you go. 2nd and 5 now as Lexington continues to drive and Sanders continues to pick up positive yardage. That's a 2-yard gain. Alden, you're familiar with the minor league. We often see tackles for loss, particularly in the run game, particularly early in the season. Sean Sanders is not getting dropped for losses in the running game. He has been positive yards all the way tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we talk about that dominance of Randy Squarebush, but I mean, even that took a couple weeks for him to really settle in. We're really seeing such an impressive performance by Sean Sanders here already. And, it is the very start of the season. There's still so much time and opportunity for him to learn and improve. And if you're a defensive coordinator or a head coach in the SFLm, I think that's got to worry you, that this is how good he is now. How good's he going to be, 3, 4, 5 weeks from now?
I cursed him, Alden. Sanders dropped for a loss of 1, thanks to LL Volt, who makes the stop and a fair catch called for at the 14-yard line. Annapolis' offense has to get moving here. I haven't seen a first down in quite some time. Lexington's defense been holding it down halfway through the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, and that's absolutely the the big thing for them is that eventually it's going to become a race against the clock, and they've got to be able to do something on offense here, really take control of this game once again, tie it up if not take the lead again.
That pass incomplete, right through the hands of the intended receiver. And Destro mentioned Waffle House in the chat. How could I forget? Yes. That's got to be slotted. That's 3rd for me. That's ahead of Wendy's.
Yes, as a Waffle House is one of those places that you, to me anyway, you don't plan to go to, but you end up at. I many times after closing a theatrical production, I have ended up at a Waffle House, and it's like the best food that you've ever tasted, even though it's the only place open. It's like it hits different at like 2 a.m, as the kids say.
It does hit different. As that pass is caught, Struthers gets a first down to the 27-yard line. That pass hauled in, targeted a lot tonight. That's the fullback again, Jonah Jason, with the reception this go-around. Dropped the pass earlier in the drive, but Struthers moves the chains. What a ball from Gene Struthers. Perfect throw.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really taken him a while to settle in here, but he is quietly having a much improved performance over the first half.
1st and 10 of the 27-yard line, 10-7. Lexington on top of Annapolis. Struthers hit as he threw, and the pass falls incomplete. That's Lawson again on the play. Big Dog in the chat said new scoreboard. No, just missing the ticker tonight, but we are gearing up for the SFL Wild Card Weekend playoffs starting tomorrow, and you'll see some new graphics there throughout the presentation of those games this weekend. Looking forward to debuting our first refresh of sorts visually in the last year and a half or so. And,
exciting.
Now looking forward to settling back down after a crazy off-season or crazy in-season travel, rather, as Shanahan makes the catch, brings up 3rd and 7.
Yeah, and a good job by Lexington to close down here. It is a much improved performance here by Gene Struthers, and I will stand by that. But, and a free down here.
Free play on 3rd and 7. That's what you love to see out of your quarterback. Looking for Harleman took the deepest route. Rigsby was in coverage again, been terrific all night long, but if you're Struthers, that's what you got to do on a free play like that, and nearly paid off for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, you have another first down coming anyway. You've got to try to make something happen, even if it's a bit of a gamble. Absolutely the correct decision. You know, Gene Struthers already showing a little bit of maturity at such a young age.
So 3rd and 2 here for the Navigators at the 35-yard line. 4:43 to go in the third. The offenses have slowed just a bit here in the third frame, but Lexington leads still by 3. Struthers is hit from behind. Blindside. Someone yell wolf. And Robert Brady collects his first SFLm career sack and will bring up 4th down for Annapolis.
Yeah, absolutely. And this has really been, you know, lots of hard hits, but overall a very clean game. That jump off side was the first foul of the entire affair here.
From the 27 on the return to the 32-yard line, 4:10 to go here in this third quarter. The SFL Minor League is underway, but it's never too late to create your player and get him or her involved in the next rookie class. Season 20's rookie draft takes place December 17th and 18th, so don't miss your chance. The sooner you create your player, the better your player will be on draft day. For more information, visit simulationfl.net and click the Create a Player button in gold at the top. First down for Moore. They're going to start off with a pass. Slants down the middle, caught. First down to the 43, 11. Yard gain, and that's a Xavier Solomon with another grab.
Yeah, and this is really you know, as much as we talked about you know, a clock management opportunity for Lexington on the drive where they gave up an interception. I mean, this is another attempt at them another attempt for them to milk the clock here.
Sanders fumbled the ball. It is recovered. None other than by Morgan Hill, who has the touchdown tonight for Lexington. It's officially a pickup of 9 on the play after Sanders made a man miss. The first blemish on Sanders' resume this evening.
Yeah, and a great job to pick it up here. And, you know, like we were saying, clock keeps moving. Lexington keeps moving down the field just as importantly.
Moore on 2nd and 1, looking for it all. Down the field, incomplete. One-on-one coverage. That's Hartshorn, who confirmed his pronunciation in the chat earlier. Thank you, JW, with that deflection. We've seen some great cornerback play out of Hartshorn. Nold has an interception tonight. And then Rigsby at free safety on the other end for the Miners.
Yeah, and that's just a great job of outrunning the route, you know, like we talk about with these cornerbacks, just reading the corner route and getting to the spot first, tipping the ball away, and just, you know, no DPI, knocking him away after knocking away the ball.
3rd down and 1 at the 48-yard line, and Moore takes a 7-step drop. Moore fires, tipped, and incomplete. I think that was Hartshorn again. Came flying in and swatted away the pass, and now a 4th and 1 for Lexington in no man's land.
Yeah, and a great stop by Annapolis. You know, we talk about, you know, teams taking destiny into their own hands. This is really an opportunity for Annapolis after what has really been a struggle for them to move the ball. This is a huge opportunity to take the lead and never look back.
The problem is Lexington has been winning the field position battle basically all night since the 99-yard touchdown drive, as Annapolis calls for a fair catch at the 15-yard line. In the third quarter, elsewhere on SFL YouTube, actually just starting the fourth quarter, the Madison Lynx have a 27-21 lead on the Albuquerque Adams. Both teams have a pair of pick sixes each team has one pick six. There's been a pair of pick sixes in that game, and it's been a fun one over there in Madison. 2 close games to kick off season 6 of the SFL Minor League, and Alden, for those that don't know, where did you get your career started in SFLm?
Well, I started with the Memphis River Runners, started as a cornerback before realizing that, I had a better opportunity to get into the league as an offensive line player, switched over to that and have been with Jacksonville ever since. That's really one thing that I want to, encourage these young players to think about is think about not just, of course scouts are looking at, character and all kinds of factors, but also think about, where you fit in with these SFL teams, and that can help you just as much in the draft, I think.
Struthers steps up. Couldn't have said it better myself, Alden. That is a beautiful pass for a first down at the 29-yard line. Shanahan with the reception, and quite possibly Struthers' best pass of the night.
Yeah, absolutely. And Gene Struthers just finding little ways to improve here, just step by step. And, you've had a rough start to this game and really a rough continuation of it. That's really all you can do. You can't beat yourself up. You just got to take control of what you can take control of.
Struthers had some press coverage outside, did manage to complete it to Morrison, who's been a little quiet, but it's going to end up being a loss of 1. Terrific coverage by Andre Tucker on the perimeter, 2nd and 11. And you've been a part, Alden, of that Jacksonville offensive line ever since. A record-setting offensive line last season. Obviously a tough season this year, but had a new rookie quarterback, and Jacksonville will be back in no time. But you've obviously had a brilliant career, and looking forward to seeing your name somewhere on that all-star list coming up in a couple of weeks.
Neutral zone infraction, number 79.
First penalty of the game. Have not missed R62 tonight. Robert Brady, who had the sack earlier, picks up a free 5 yards for Annapolis. My job would be a lot simpler, Alden, if R62 would just get some more calls right.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's like you say, we really, it's a rebuilding year for Jacksonville, but we really have some positives to take away. And, having these contracted offensive line players has been such a big part of it. And, you may not always get your name called. Sometimes you do. Sometimes you get recognized on all-star teams. But I really do think, a lot of players have opportunities as offensive line players and kickers, and, should certainly consider it.
Grant Jr. running in mud here in the second half. 3rd and 9, and when we hit the fourth quarter, you're watching the SFLm presented by APM Music on YouTube. Visit the SFL website at simulationfl.net for info about the league and its 28 teams, all the places you can watch live games, plus links to apparel from Sector 6 and SFL mini helmets from 97 Sports Promotions. See all the league records, team stats, as Struthers and the Navigators will end up with a first down. See all the league records, team stats, player leaderboards, the rankings of the next class of SFL talent, and so much more. Simulationfl.net, your home for everything SFL. Struthers ending up with a 4th down for the Navigators, and they'll have to punt it away again. It's been a struggle, particularly in the second half, Alden, for Annapolis' offense, and most of that is just due to Chris Grant Jr. just not being able to get the ground game going, and Lexington's going to end up a great field position here to start the drive at the 34.
Yeah, and that's really the thing, is that, Annapolis have not really been marching with the football, but at the same time, they've had plenty of opportunities, and it just really becomes a question eventually of which team is going to be the one to control things and stop the other team from getting back into it.
Deep drop back for Moore, fires an out route complete. The top of the screen to Budette. And Ethan Kai's in the chat as one of the owners of the Seattle Nemesis. They have the number 1 pick, Alden. I heard on Dave Axe's show, Gunny's Pearls of Wisdom. He does an excellent job data mining in the SFL, storyline mining in the SFL, and he was talking about the last 5 number 1 draft picks in SFL history, and guess what, Alden? They're all still here. Bryant James, the most recent number 1 pick, playing in Indianapolis. So who's going to be that next number 1 and help transform the Seattle Nemesis? Maybe it's Adam Nold, who got the interception earlier, deflects that pass, and forces a 3rd and 5.
Well, yeah, and it's such a balancing act when you're a team that's relatively new in the league, and so many fantastically talented players on this field. I mean, Gene Struthers showing that he possibly is ready to take the next step at the level. Sean Sanders also having such a promising debut here tonight as well. And of course, the defenses of both of these teams putting in quite a bit of work each shift as well. So a lot to look at if you're an SFL scout.
More good coverage there from Jupiter Juneau. Speaking of defenses playing well, and Annapolis has bottled down Lexington as Sean Sanders has gotten a little worn out from his first half effort. Lexington will have to punt the football away, still winning that field position battle. APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore their library and to find the perfect tracks for your projects, visit apmmusic.com. As that return gets up to the 25. So 9:51 to go. Everything's still in play in this one. Annapolis down just 3. Struthers says the one thing that he has done pretty well, take care of the ball. Not a lot of mistakes from Gene tonight. And he goes back to work. Offside again. That's Brady. And finally, Grant Jr. able to find some space off that left side. This is a tough. Is it 1st and 5 or 2nd and 3? I think they probably take the penalty.
that's a tricky decision as a coach. We'll see.
Especially with the run game struggling as it has been, they will accept the penalty. It'll be 1st and 5.
I suppose they value the extra down more, and there's some value to both decisions. Certainly extending your drive, giving yourself 5 opportunities to convert rather than 4.
So 1st and 5, they take the penalty. Struthers changing the play at the line. 9:15 to go in this one. Check down, and it doesn't matter. 2nd and 3 anyway, as that 2-yard pickup goes to Morrison. All's well that ends well, Alden.
Yeah, the football god said no. you're taking the 2nd and 3.
Under 9 to play. Split backs. Anybody's game. A pair of field goal games right now on the opening night of SFLm. And that is a Grant Jr. run with 1 man to beat. Tackle to the Lexington 48-yard line. What a pancake up front. And Annapolis finally in Lexington territory for the first time in this second half.
Yeah, my goodness, that was like something out of a Madden trailer. I mean, pancake block, and he just hurdles over the man that just got dropped. I mean, that is really exceptional stuff to get Annapolis on the other side of the field here.
Offensive coordinator John Michael Suddeth in the chat. That's the break we need. And now Struthers going empty backfield. 1st and 10 at the 48. 8:12 to go in the 4th quarter. And Struthers fires it outside. Open receiver. Harleman to the 42. A 7-yard gain. There's the updated quarterback numbers. Struthers touchdown and a pick with 1:14 through the air.
Yeah, and it's getting down so close to the wire, and Annapolis, it really feels like they have new life here. I mean, this looks like a different team than what we've been seeing.
Struthers, incomplete pass. And dating back to Saturday night, Alden, I'm trying to think, including these games, these would be the 8th and 9th games to be decided by one possession in a row here around these parts. Been great football recently.
And included looking like that's going to be the case for this Madison Albuquerque game as well.
Struthers standing tall in the pocket, fires it short to the fullback, and boy, tough decision here. My gut says Annapolis has been losing field position all game. They need to gain some back here.
I almost think go for it here. I mean, you certainly try to work the hard count. I mean, this would be a very long field goal, and they're going to try to get a good punt here.
And they pin them deep inside the 5, down to the 1, and they let it roll into the end zone. Almost.
You've got to pick it up.
At the 1 again.
The punter did such a fantastic job there by Pete Ellis to get that deep into Lexington's zone and on the 1 yard line. But you got to pick it up. There's patience and then there's recklessness.
7 minutes to go. Flip outside to the fullback, actually, not Sanders. Pierce Cooley. Zach Haldorf is the defensive coordinator for Lexington, the one coach we have not mentioned tonight. Done a great job against this Annapolis bunch through really all 4 quarters.
And you know, Lexington have had a quite decent offensive performance, but it's really been the defense that has been the glue holding their performance together.
Check down to Sanders. Boy, they have really keyed in on him in the second half. Have not let him out of their sight. No gain. Set up a 3rd down and 5 with 6.5 to go.
Yeah, and Annapolis trying to get the ball back pretty quickly here, and I would have to think if they were able to get a stop here, I would have to think the ball would start pretty close to the 50-yard line.
Madison has hung over 30 in week 1 of SFLm. That's a rarity. Up by 10 over the Adams. Moore, back foot. Oh, what a throw! Ooh. Oh, I can't believe it. Chad Moore gets to 200 yards on that dime to Dill Swayze down the field. That was a thing of beauty. Oh, well, my.
Man, and he threw it against his body, and the play just seemed to materialize there. I mean, we were talking about the ball potentially ending up near the 50-yard line. That's not what I meant, but it's what happened.
That replay gave me goosebumps watching that throw. Led his receiver, throwing across the body. Best play of the night, I think, really by anybody. What a ball from Moore. And on the flip side of that, more Annapolis pressure, and it'll bring up 2nd and 10. Stop the clock with 5:39 to go.
Yeah, I think Sean Sanders with that very first explosive run might have something to say about that. But yeah, absolutely. If there's only 5 plays that make the highlight reel, that's definitely one of them. Top 2 or top 1 for sure.
2nd and 10 at the Annapolis 46-yard line. Moore with slants down the middle, waited a little while as a first down to the Navigator 31. That pass caught by Budette, and Lexington moving again. Finally, we got a good drive going here in the second half.
Yeah, and Lexington really looking to drive the dagger through the heart of Annapolis here. They can put all kinds of pressure on Annapolis if they get a touchdown here.
Moore to throw on a corner route, wide open inside the 10, down to the 5, down to the 3. Dill Swayze, 4th catch of the evening, and Lexington is dangerously close to trying to put this away.
Yeah, and this is such as Marco Swift says in the chat, such a professional job of taking a high pressure situation and reacting to it appropriately. You know, pressure causes you to crack sometimes, but pressure also creates diamonds.
as the Miners know all about, right? Good analogy here for this game, Alden. I appreciate that as Sanders gets a carry for a 1-yard pickup, 2nd and goal.
That was a lot better. Yeah, that was definitely a lot better analogy than my Ed Wood analogy earlier on in this game. We're all practicing and sharpening up here this SFLm season.
2nd and goal at the 2. Goal line front here for the Navigators. They're trying to keep this a 1-score game. Sanders been real tough to get going in the second half, and he's just short of the goal line.
So
John Patrick
close.
Levine, touchdown saving
spotted.
tackle.
It's spotted on the goal line. It is spotted on the goal line.
So it's a touchdown.
You
right?
could not get closer without scoring.
That looks on the line. And they're going empty. 3rd and goal from the goal line.
Oh.
No Sanders.
Pete
Surprising
Carroll just had
call.
a panic attack and he doesn't know why.
Moore changing the play. And Moore with slants. Throws and it's dropped. Oh, he had an open receiver, Swayze, who made that brilliant catch over the middle of the field earlier in the drive. And Annapolis survives the goal line.
Wow.
And will keep it a 1-score game.
Yeah, and you have to go for the field goal. You have to. You have to go for the field goal. But, oh man, like I said, it would be such a backbreaker if they go for it and get the touchdown. And like, what's the worst case scenario there, right? Like, it's a turnover on downs, but it's effectively the same thing as pinning them at the 1. I don't know. I think it's so tough to. It seemed like a straightforward call for a field goal, but I think there's an argument to be made.
Almost blocked there, and if it would have gotten blocked, we definitely would have been talking about hindsight going for it on 4th and goal, but the kick is good, 13-7. Switch thumper, the quarterback of Madison, Alden, 414 passing yards tonight for Madison. However, just threw an interception. That game still alive for Albuquerque, although on the slim outskirts, Annapolis has a better shot. 3:46 to go. They are down 6. Need a touchdown out of Struthers, who's been cool, calm, and collected tonight. They'll get the ball to start the 32-yard line.
Yeah, and as we said, you know, that touchdown would have been an absolute backbreaker for Annapolis, but a field goal puts so much pressure on them. You know, they have known for a while now that a touchdown would put them back in the driver's seat. But with less than 4 minutes to go, I mean, it really feels like it would be their game to lose if they were able to put up a touchdown here.
Struthers fires it outside, and a couple of good blocks.
Oh.
What a juke. Grant Jr. down the sideline, gets inside midfield.
And again, it's what we've talked about before that Gene Struthers demonstrated when he had, you know, Randy Squarebush on his team, just so much ability to create space for running backs on the designed pass plays, and just a great example of it. Then a great example of it there, Chris Grant put in a space where he has blocks, where he has space, and it works out fantastically for Annapolis.
1st and 10 of the Lexington 48-yard line after that brilliant play. Now on a counter, Grant Jr. is put down after a 2-yard pickup. DJ Kilgannon with the tackle, under 3 to play. And the way that Annapolis is playing this, Alden, it looks like they may think this is their final drive of the game, although they are quickly hurrying now.
Mm-hmm.
It's a brisk, fast walk. 2nd and 8. For Struthers. Struthers going to take off and run. Struthers slides just before the first down. 3rd and short coming up.
Wow, and you usually think of the as a quarterback, you usually think of that pocket as like a safe place to stand and, you know, read the play and think about what you're going to do. He had to pull off a little bit of an escape act there.
Empty backfield for Struthers. 3rd and short. Maybe the final play before the 2-minute warning. Flag, free play, and then another deep shot from Gene, nearly connected with Morrison, but it'll be a first down, the 3rd offside for Lexington in the second half. I didn't see, was that Brady again? It was.
Oh,
Robert
and
Brady
that is
feeling that first sack
so
earlier.
Yeah, man. And now it feels like the pressure has kind of switched. Annapolis are moving down the field. They're using time efficiently. And now Lexington being pulled offside, they're being forced to make risky decisions that open up runs, that open up passes. And it really feels like Annapolis is starting to take back control again.
Oh, a false. You never see that, Alden.
Oh,
a
my.
false start on the left guard, or left tackle, rather. Unbelievable.
I have stress dreams about this exact situation, let me tell you.
Austin Green gives it right back, although it's still first down for the Navigators.
You've heard of false start everyone but the center. That was false start everyone but the left guard.
Yeah, pretty much. That pushes them out of field goal range, although it doesn't much matter. I formation, 1st and 15. They need a touchdown. 2:09 to go.
Absolutely. Good call.
I form for Struthers. 5-step drop, looking for someone to get open. Checks it down. Harleman with the catch to the 31-yard line, and we've hit the 2-minute warning. Lexington trying to hang on, up 13-7. What a great ball game we've had here tonight. You're watching the SFLm, presented by Edwin Music on YouTube. The 19th edition of the SFL playoffs on Next Level Sports begin tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Eastern as the Minnesota Legend head to D.C. for a rematch with the Dragons. Sunday at 8:45 p.m. Eastern, Fort Worth heads back to Vancouver, where the Toros lost their last playoff appearance. For a channel guide and for more info about Next Level Sports, visit NLSE.com. Struthers out of the gun, 2nd and 8. And Grant Jr. did get out of bounds. Save some time, no gain, and all these players hoping to be on Next Level Sports and beyond one day.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, it just, I really, you know, so much growth for the league comes from our partners, and you know, it really fuels the dreams of these players to have their name called and be on the marquee, so to speak.
3rd and 8, biggest third down of the game, 4-down territory for Annapolis. Everybody's running short of the sticks, and Struthers is sacked. Sacked from behind by Brady. That's his 2nd of the night. And he's almost canceled out all the offside penalties. And Annapolis has to take a timeout.
Oh, man, and just elusive for a man his size. Gets into the pocket, blows past his block, and oh man, it feels so bad to go for a field goal here. It almost feels like 4-down territory, especially with how jumpy Lexington have been here.
That's a good point. Yeah, they could get another offside call and make it a little easier. 4th down and 11. Gene looking for something past the sticks. Check down, not going to get there. And the Miners come up golden on the 4th down stop. Annapolis with 2 timeouts now in deep, deep peril.
Yeah, absolutely. There is still an opportunity for Annapolis, but with 2 timeouts, you feel like a first down would certainly be the stake through this game's black heart, so to speak.
Lexington trying to get to 1-0. Hand off to Sanders. Picks up 1. Timeout Annapolis. Next week, Lexington takes on the Albuquerque Adams, who are faltering on the road tonight. That game still alive, though, for Albuquerque. About 3 minutes to go on that one. Then Lexington returns home to take on San Jose and Lincoln. Last season in Week 1, Lexington was bounced by Tacoma 49-24, so they like this result a lot better. Sanders picks up 4, timeout Annapolis, and here you go. Here's the ball game, Alden. Annapolis needs a 3rd down stop to have one last chance.
Yeah, absolutely. And Lexington, I think know that. And it's such a big moment because especially if they're able to get it in good field position, near the 50, near the 40, I think they set themselves up quite well.
3rd down and 5 at the 39-yard line. Handoff, Sanders, not going to make it. And McFly on the stop, so Annapolis will get one more chance. Henry Jones in the chat complaining about APF. He's been complaining about APF for 10 years, Alden. We gotta get this guy a hug and just a dose of it's going to be okay. And Lexington's going to have to punt it away.
It happens to all of us from time to time.
1:06 to go in the 4th. Will Annapolis come for the block? Nope, they're going to set up for a return. And will they get one? Yes, from the 19-yard line. Almost juked the guy. 79 yards in 50 seconds. Here we go.
Yeah,
and Annapolis
and it's
together.
Basically the same thing as starting from a touchback on that punt. I think it's maybe one of those underrated, moments that we look back on in hindsight, just to have a punt that essentially sets them back far into their own zone here.
1st and 10 at the 21, 50 seconds left. A lot of these routes are short. They got to get something down the field.
Oh, not able to stop the clock?
Nope, Shanahan is tackled inbounds. Look at these route trees. You got to get something going deep. That's a little bit better. Struthers wide open past the 40 or 35 to the 38.
Oh,
but
you got to
couldn't
run
get
out of bounds there.
26 seconds left, no timeouts. If they can just get into maybe Hail Mary range, 21 seconds on the spike, then Annapolis would have a chance.
And it's so you've got to. I mean, it's so tough as an offensive coordinator, as a head coach, because the other defense knows, I should say, that you're going for a long route that slants to the outside, and that maybe makes it a little easier to adjust to.
Oh, where is Struthers going with that pass? It's picked off and the game over. That was the worst read of the night. I didn't see any PI. Top of the screen? No, just threw that into total no man's land. Jukin Rukin Jr. ices the game, and that's a disappointing end for Struthers' night. He had a pretty efficient game other than that pass.
Yeah, absolutely. Gene Struthers is not going to be happy watching that one in the film room tomorrow. But to the point of Joshua Hartshorn in the chat, both of these teams, it was a struggle for both of these teams in some areas, but both of them also having a lot of things that they can, hold to and show some promise, for Lexington. A great game by Sean Sanders and Chad Moore, for that matter as well. Their defense really able to limit the explosiveness of Annapolis, and there you see as well, when you look at the actual numbers, Gene Struthers, despite that disastrous pick at the end there, he had an okay night as well. So I think it's one of those scenarios where you're a head coach and you have to look at this as just the start of the season. You can't get too high on what you're able to do well. You can't kick yourself for the mistakes that you made. All you can do is go back to the drawing board with what you've learned and come back next week 1% better every time you go out. That's the secret sauce for self-improvement.
Chad Moore with the play of the game there, getting the ball out to Swayze, who finished with 70 yards receiving. Sean Sanders finished with a $133, and that Lexington drive that featured that Swayze catch resulted in the only points of the second half, 13-7. Lexington over Annapolis. Coming up next, San Jose and Ottawa at 8:45 Eastern. Tacoma Lincoln at 9 Eastern. Madison and Albuquerque are still going. Albuquerque still with a shot down 10 late in the fourth quarter. Alden, your player of the game?
I was gonna say it has
Sorry.
to be Sean Sanders.
That was my bad. 28 carries, 133 yards, 15 receiving yards for Sean Sanders. Great night. Miners go to 1-0, and the Annapolis Navigators fall to 0-1. Thank you all for being here tonight on this broadcast. For Alden Bleeker, I'm Cameron Irvine from the practice facility in Kentucky. We'll see you back here in Lexington in a couple of weeks. Your final score, Annapolis 7, Lexington 13. Enjoy the rest of SFLm tonight, ladies and gentlemen, and the playoff slate over the weekend. Good night, all.